Alright, so just gonna do a little update video. Man, it's kind of gotten hard to make these YouTube videos. Had a lot going on. Me and the kids took a trip to the beach for a week, and they're all out of school pretty much now, so it's made things a little bit more difficult. With 3 kids, my time to be out here with the bees is kind of limited, and then when I do get out here, I've really got to just get stuff done as fast as I can because they're not very patient. So I came out here the other day and I have checked all these splits that we brought over here. If you remember the one video, we made some queens in a little white Nuc starter, and I had a little bit of a video me working the bees and making splits. Had some comments. Some people, I had one person in particular, they said I wasn't really thinking out what I was saying, but it was more of a vlog video, honestly. You know, there's only so many how-to videos you can do in beekeeping, and I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy watching other people work their bees. I watch just about every video that Ian Stippler puts out up in Canada. I'm really kind of fascinated with how the honey flow in Canada works and the way they do things, and there's some other beekeepers out there. You know, I'm not necessarily watching their videos till I do learn. I pick up on things that they do that I do a little bit different, but for me it's not necessarily about the learning how to do something. It's just watching them work their bees, looking and learning how their honey flow works, how they prep their bees for their honey flow. You know, little things that they do that I may do different, and some things I may incorporate into my operation and help me make me a better beekeeper. So, you know, there's only so many how-tos that you can do, and eventually, you know, some of these videos are going to just be vlogs, you know, just allowing some of you guys that enjoy watching my videos and enjoy watching me work my bees, giving you that opportunity. So, you know, that's just the way it is. So I came through here the other day with the kids real quickly, and I started to mark my queens, the ones that were successful and the ones that were not, and we'll go through there and look at these. We did okay. It wasn't a bad run. Wasn't probably the best. So this box here was 2 splits. Now most of these splits we've made stronger. We're up to 2 and 3 frame splits because it's the summertime now. And as you can see on 625, WN is for the white Nuc. Both of these were mated queens in here. Going on down in this one, same thing, mated queen, so those did good. This was a box that's been here for a while. I made this. It's a mated queen from earlier in 2019. This was an overwintered queen. I used the box from right down here. I used it to make a cell builder, and it might have been, I think it was the green one. When I made the green one, I put the queen, I just took her out because this one had no queen. So I took the queen out of that box and stuck her in here. She's been doing great, and we made a cell builder out of that hive. This one here you can see was a mated queen. This one says needs cell. I've kind of, on this run, I'm not planning on making any more splits. I'm only actually going to make one more run of queens, and that's going to be in the middle of July. I'm going to make some because I'm going to have all this extra strength. All these hives that I've got that are producing sourwood honey, you know, some of them are 3 and 4 supers high, and I'm going to have all those bees. I'm going to push down into a deep and a medium, and there's really going to be too many bees in those boxes. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to pull, if the first medium on top of the brood nest has brood in it, I'm going to make a split with that medium super. It'll be like a 4/4 or something like that. You know, I'll make some type of split with that super of bees, and then I'll probably go down in the hive body and pull out 2 frames or so out of the brood nest and drop in some empties and make some splits with that too. And then I'm going to just feed the dog out of everything I got, because that's just the way I do it. So I've got some of these boxes, they say need queen simply because there was a virgin in there or there's just no brood in there. It's kind of hard to, I think some of them I have marked virgin if I saw a virgin, but if I didn't actually see a virgin and I didn't see any brood, I put needs sell. So that's why you got needs sell. I may come back whenever I go to drop these cells. I made a cell builder yesterday, so it'll be next week. It'll probably be around July 4th or 5th. I will have those cells will be ready to drop in these. So when you see these things say need sell, I may come back and when it's time to put the cell in there, and there may be a laying queen in there for all I know. I don't know, but I can't wait really any longer to determine if the virgin's going to get mated or if there is a virgin. I didn't have time to look for the virgins, so I went ahead and I'm going to make the cells, and I'm going to throw a cell in there whether they need it or not. So this box here, you got on the 26th, I come check these two. So you got mated queen there from the white nuke. This one was an early mated queen. Now this queen was actually on this side, and this side had a laying worker in it, and this side had a really good queen. So what I ended up doing, as you can see, this was one of my medium splits. I got so many bees in these mediums that I had to put boxes on them, so I added deeps. But like I said, this one had a laying worker. The only way I've ever figured out to fix a laying worker is to combine it with a queen right hive. So I took the deep box off of this side with the queen and brood in it, and I moved her over here. So now they have a laying queen with bees and brood. Well, that fixed the laying worker problem, but I needed a queen over here. And so I put a queen cell. I think I put 2 queen cells in here from the little white nuke, and now they're mated. So now this box is fixed. Alright, so this box here, it doesn't happen a lot where both sides screw up. Normally it's just one or the other. But on this one, as you can see, virgin queen on both sides. So I'm planning on putting cells in both of those, or I'm going to hopefully have cells for both of those. I may come back and they may be laying and they may be fine, but I'm just kind of adding that into my, hey, they need cells category. This one here, mated queen on both sides. So when we get to this one, another one of those flukes. This one needs cells on both sides. I didn't see any virgins, didn't see any laying queens, so messed that one up. And then on this box we have 2 mated queens on that side. This little brown box, mated queen on both sides. And then I had 2 boxes do this. You can see, I started to put an FQ on it for like a failed queen, but it wasn't a failed queen. It was just a complete abscond. There are no bees on that side of the box anymore. Don't know why, but I can tell you this side of the box, very, very strong. So, you know, that happens. I mentioned in the video when I come out here and put these out, I believe, that, you know, I like to wait and open these things up at nighttime or when it gets dark. So the bees come, you take the tape off or the screen off, the bees come pouring out, but it's dark, so they don't really fly. They eventually go back in the hole, and then the next morning they will go around and reorient and they're good. But I didn't have that opportunity, so I basically have to open up the boxes in the middle of the day. They go crazy. I end up with some boxes that are more full than others. I think the other video, it might have been that hive there. It could have been the next one down. I actually spun the boxes around, or no, I didn't spin them around. I took a frame of bees out of one side and moved it to the other side, because I went from having like 2 or 3 frames of bees in each side to one only having like 1 or 2 frames of bees, and the other one had like 4, and it was packed. So I had to do a little bit of equalizing there, and I don't know if that's what happened here or not, but it was an abscond on that side. And then it was the same thing with this one back here. I have a mated queen here and an abscond there. This side over here is got quite a few bees in it. I mean, there's a bunch in this side, none in this side. So, and you can kind of see if you look underneath that, I don't know if you can see, they got a little bee beard going on down there. So quite a few bees on that side. Let's see if this side's got a little bee beard. No, that one doesn't have one. So, but anyway, we had an abscond there and a mated queen. And then we came over here and we had a mated queen, and then there was a virgin. Another virgin over there. So we'll have to see how the virgins come back. Most of the time, if I go in 3 weeks after capping and I find a virgin, she does great. It's just that she just hasn't quite started laying yet, or if she has, she's laid such a little amount that I'm not seeing it. And you come back a week later and she's doing good. So we'll just have to see. So on this box, let's see, we were 1 and 1. That one over there, we were 2 and 2. I'm gonna count the absconds as fails. So there's 3, 3 and 3. Now here we went 5 and 3. Then we go 2, 7 and 3. Oh, that ain't good. 7 and 5, because they both need sales. 9 and 5. These are virgins, so we're gonna say 9 and 7. Don't count. 11 and 7. 12 and 8. 12 and 8. 14 and 8. And 16 and 8. So that is 50%. So that, like I said, that, you know, that's what happens when you get into the hot summer. You know, it's not all going to be good. But like I said, that's 16 and 8. But you have to remember there's 2 there that are virgins and 2 that are virgins. That's a 3rd virgin. So, you know, there's 3 of those 8 are actually virgins that, you know, they may actually be mated, just kind of slow laying. So then that would get us to what, like 19 and 5 or something, which is to get us closer to that percentage, the average percentage. So that's this yard. We can go look now at the other yard, because if you remember, I made 37 splits and I believe 25 of them were here. So there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 on the end, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, and then right here makes 5. So 25. Well, does that make sense? Let's see. No, we said 16 and 8. Oh, we weren't counting this one here. So actually it's we didn't count that one, so it's 17. 17 and 8, but the 3 virgins would put us, if they come back mated, which is I'm going to bet they will, take the 3 from 8, so that would make 20 and 5, which would be 75%. So we're actually right on the mark. So maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. I tell you, it's just the absconds. The absconds kill me, because, you know, I know the bees are going somewhere. Oh yeah, and I about forgot. So this is another thing that I found the other day whenever I was here. Probably where one of my absconds went. I don't know. We got a swarm in a swarm trap. So this swarm trap had some bees in it a month ago. Wasn't a lot, maybe like a baseball size cluster. And I thought it was probably just some bees that got lost when I made the splits with the green nuke, which has been a month and a half ago. And I thought, well, you know, they poured out of the boxes, went crazy, and then they just ended up smelling the swarm commander on this box and went in. Because I looked in there, no queen, no brood, nothing. I mean, there was nothing in there. Well, when I came back to check these queens, I've got this, and then whenever I actually went in there and I pulled it down and went in there and looked at it, we'll do that on a different day. They got like 3 or 4 frames of brood in there. I mean, they're rocking and rolling. So you know, one of those absconds that I'm counting as a failure could be there in that box, but you know, who knows. It didn't stay in our mating nuke, so we're not going to count it. So right now we're at 17 and 8, but I'm guessing when I come back and check those virgins, it's going to be more like 20 and 5, so we'll be at 75%. All right, let's go check the other yard, see what's going on over there. All right, so here we are at the other yard, and we're going to check these here. Now, I brought back 12 splits, so I had the 25 there. I brought back 12 here, but then I had an additional 2 here where the mating nuke was. So remember, I split the mating nuke in half, and I got 2 there. So I ended up with 39, I guess, total splits. So out of the ones here, the mating nuke, both this box was mated queen. This box here says needs a cell. Didn't see a virgin, don't see any eggs whenever I checked it last, so needs a cell. That side mated queen. This side mated queen, mated queen. Got a little medium box here. One side needs a cell, the other side is a mated queen. Another medium box, mated queen, and a virgin. Now before I turned the camera on, I actually checked that box. That virgin is now laying. There are eggs in the cells. So this one is now mated queen, mated queen. I just need to mark it. This one here was not in the group of splits. It was already here. There was a queen cell already in this one. It was not one that I put in there. Okay, so this box here, you don't see any writing here. I actually spun this box around. What happened here was I had a queen mated on one side of the box with very little bees. On the other side of the box, I had a whole lot of bees and no mated queen or no virgin. So I ended up taking the mated queen that was in, let's see, now I got myself backwards. The mated queen was in this section and all the bees were in this section. So what I ended up doing was I took the mated queen out of this section and moved her over to this section with all the bees. And so when I did that, I had to spin my lid around. So now it will show a mated queen on this side. Now you'll see that there's bees here on this entrance. The reason why, I had a hive right there. It was a small hive and I needed to make another cell builder. So I took the bees from that box and made me a cell builder. But I took the queen and 1 or 2 frames of brood and I put them in this side of the box. So now both sides of these are full. This side has a, I think it's that red dot queen from that swarm we caught over there in that one video. I believe she's in this side with a couple frames of brood. And then the rest of the bees, I shook them all into, you know what, scratch that. The box wasn't down there, the box was right here. And I shook all those bees in there. That box down there, that's where that big swarm was, the double deep from the last video where I said they had a bunch of brood and no bees to take care of it. That's where that one was. So that red dot queen from that swarm was here, and I ended up moving the bees, you know, the queen and a frame or 2 of brood from that little nuke. I moved her over into that little side-by-side in that empty section because I consolidated those 2 splits because, like I said, the one, I mean, there's a mated queen in there. She's laying, and she probably didn't even have a handful of bees in there. And then the other side had a couple frames of bees, and they had no queen. So that's just what you have to do. You can see, I mean, they got some on the outside, and even got a little bee beard there on the bottom. So it happens, you know. Occasionally, see these boxes, unlike a queen castle, I can't remove the divider. So if I go in there and I've got one side that's queenless and one side that, you know, has a queen, and, you know, I need to do something like that every now and then, I'll do it. I'll just spin the boxes around, move the queen over. And generally, as long as it's a laying queen, they're going to accept her. You know, you really have a problem sometimes when you take a queen that was laying 4 or 5 days ago, you shove her in a box and ship her down the road, and she's not a laying queen anymore. But as long as she's a laying queen, they do pretty good. So that's that. So on these, on the last yard, we were 17 mated and 8 that were not mated. On this yard, we had, let's see, there's 11 mated, there's 14, so 12 splits plus these two, so 14. There's 11 mated and 3 that are not. So see, you had one here that was not, one here that was not, and that one was now, and then this one was the one where we just consolidated, so you had 3 that were not, so we were 11 for 14, and that's 70-some%. I did the math a little bit ago, and I done forgot what it was. But it's 70-something%. So for the total, we ended up with 17 mated queens at the other place, 11 mated queens here. So that was 28 mated queens out of 39. Now if those virgins come back mated, then it would be 31 mated out of 39. But regardless, the 28 out of 39 ended up being like 70 or 71%. So not too bad. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this wasn't the best run, but we also have to remember it's hot, it's dry. We're now almost to July. We're in the middle of our summer dearth, and the conditions for raising queens are getting worse and worse as the days go on. So